What's up, you guys? I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap, and today we'll review Rocket Money. This is a personal finance app that I first learned about on Reddit, though at the time it went by a different name. I'd see these ads every now and then that would help you identify all of your subscriptions and help you to get rid of those and save you money. At the time it was going by the name of Truebill, but now it's been rebranded as Rocket Money. And the stuff that it tells you that it can do, well, still the subscriptions, but also analyzing your spending, making savings automatic, track your credit score, negotiate bills, do budgeting, and track your net worth. And a lot of these things are things that you can get from other personal finance apps, ones that I've covered in the past. If you check out this video, when I was ditching Quicken, I go over some of the different options. You can just skip to, if you're interested in like the Mint section or the Personal Capital, now Empower section. But all of these ones do your spending tracking, they do your budgeting, they also do your net worth as well. And in the case of Mint, I think it does your credit score, but you can get your credit score for free like in a lot of places. So yeah, a lot of those features are shared. But there are some features here that Rocket Money does that are kind of unique. So first though, why don't we look at the features that are common across other platforms and then see how they stack up. Now, when you sign up for Rocket Money, it's pretty easy. You just link a checking account, your credit card accounts. You can also link investment accounts. The authentication or whatever the data transfer sharing is done through Plaid. Whereas with Personal Capital, and I think Mint does it too, it's done through Yodlee. So clicking on the spending tab, which is right there at the bottom of the UI, you get a nice breakdown of the different spending categories, how much you spent on them, how much they end up being as a percentage of your overall spend for the time period. Right here we've got 1 month. So it's all pretty standard, but I would say that the UI is pleasing and that the little icons are kind of cute and fun. Do I think that they're any better or worse than what you can get in Mint or Personal Capital or others? That's just really going to be a personal preference, but all of them have gone to like a fairly clean look these days, so it's pretty easy to see what you're looking at, and I think they work well. In terms of your budget, I think one thing that Rocket Money did well is using that last year of transaction data. It comes up with a lot of pre-populated ideas to help you get going with your budget. So when you want to add a new category, this happens with Mint, by the way, as well. It'll show you how much you've spent on average for that category and help you build up that budget real quick. Unlike Mint, though, it doesn't give you sort of a progress bar for each of the categories, so I don't think it does as good of a job of making you feel like you're kind of overspending in one category or what have you, or even for your overall budget. I don't really get that sense as much. So it's kind of in between Mint, which is really kind of sort of for someone who's really micro-focused on making sure that they're where they're supposed to be for all the budget categories and their overall budget. Rocket Money seems slightly more relaxed about that, kind of in the middle. And then you've got Personal Capital, or now Empower, where you really just set your overall spending budget, but you're not micromanaging the different categories at all. And that's kind of where I'm at these days. But overall, I'd say, yeah, the interface is pretty good. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Next, we've got net worth. Here I added a couple of accounts, and you can see it doesn't have all that much data in there. But in any case, it's going to do just fine. It's going to give you a line graph over time, letting you know how your net worth is progressing. It does break down that net worth by your assets and also your liabilities or your debt, and then gives you the net. Gives you the percentage change over time frame. So overall, I think it is, a pleasing UI and just as good of a way to keep track of your net worth progress as with other applications. All right, now before we talk about the unique features for Rocket Money, why don't we talk about some of the things that Rocket Money doesn't have that other apps do have. Again, compared to Mint or Quicken, just that detailed sort of progress bar view of how you're doing on each of your budget categories is not there. I also think the UI for kind of showing cash flows is better with Empower and also with Quicken than what you get here with Rocket Money. But pretty much all the basics are there and the UI is nice. Okay, so how about the more unique selling points for Rocket Money? Well, most of these, I think really all of them, are only accessible if you have a subscription for the premium tier. It's kind of interesting where they kind of say you can pay whatever you want, but depending on, I don't know, whatever its metrics are, after analyzing your data, it will give you an option to go as low as $3. I got that offer to, it might suggest like $7 or $12, I don't know. So let's go over all these features and see if it's worth it. So the first one is kind of their main original selling point was subscriptions. I know there's a lot of people out there that have like a ton of subscriptions that are maybe spread across different credit cards and different accounts, and so it might be kind of hard to identify these. So there, it does seem useful if you're that disorganized, that it's going to help you to identify which are these subscriptions. You can determine if you want to keep them or not, save some money that way. The other nice thing that it does is it can reach out and cancel these subscriptions for you. But, I mean, really think about it, like, how hard is it really to figure out what subscriptions you have? Not that hard. And once you've done that one time, then that's really all the benefit that you get out of this anyway. And then it's not that hard to cancel these things either. So I guess if you're really lazy, you do the $3 thing, you can get some subscriptions canceled for $3 for the 1 month. That's not so bad. And then you could cancel later, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, not a huge selling point for me. It does, however, help you see those subscriptions and what they are very quickly, so it does a good job of that in terms of the UI. Alright, their next one is automatic savings, and here I think it's a good place to point out that a lot of the premium features, which you're already paying for to get premium, are actually cross-sell opportunities for them to make more money. So it's pretty interesting. So with the automatic savings, the idea is that they analyze your spending and they determine a safe savings amount that they can just pull automatically for you, move it out over into their savings account. So yeah, this is their account that they offer. It's FDIC insured. They call it the Smart Savings Account. But it is anything but smart because this thing, as far as I can tell anyway, doesn't pay any interest. When you can go out there and get all kinds of high yield interest accounts or or a money market account, and you could be earning anywhere between 4 to 5% interest, right? So not so great there. In terms of, making the savings automatic and figuring out how much, like, yeah, if you really don't want to do any work, then sure, maybe it could work, but it could also potentially backfire and leave you a little bit tight. I guess you could just move the money later, but anyway, come on, we can do this ourselves. And actually, it's probably, I think, a good idea to do it ourselves so we have a better handle on our finances anyway. I do think, though, that making savings automatic is very important. I think I've got a video about that somewhere. If not, I'll make one again in the future. But anyway, yeah, pay yourself first, make it automatic, and then take care of the luxuries and wants, after that with what's left over. Alright, the next thing they do, unique selling feature, is they can negotiate your bills. They identify bills for you that they would be able to cut down. For me, they were trying to get me to look at my car insurance for one, and then for others it might be utility bills like electricity. So here the big point is that they take a cut of the savings. So it's a 40% cut as of the last time that I saw some work on this. And in one instance, they downgraded someone's internet plan to achieve the savings, but then the internet was too slow for what they needed. So that didn't seem so great. So I don't know, I don't have any wide experience on how this works, but in general, again, I could do this myself, keep 100% of the savings rather than getting 60% of these savings and maybe ending up with a change in the plan that I'm not really all that happy with. So yeah. And then finally, we have their Visa signature card. They say this can give you up to 5% cash back, but again, this is another cross-selling opportunity. The 2% cash back and the 5% cash back, one to pay an existing mortgage, and then the 5% towards like a new home, I guess. I think it's saving for a down payment. These are only if you end up getting a mortgage with Rocket Mortgage. There's actually a parent company called Rocket Companies that has a ton of subsidiaries. Rocket Mortgage is one of the largest lenders in the country. I think in 2018 they were the largest retail lender, and in 2020 they did some $15 or $16 billion in revenue. Other companies under the Rocket Companies heading are subsidiaries such as Rocket Homes, Rocket Loans, Rocket Auto, LowerMyBills.com, interesting, and these were kind of surprising, Dictionary.com and Thesaurus.com as well. So I would say that these guys are very, very savvy business people, absolutely. But when we take a step back, personally, I don't think that these premium products are really worth it. Maybe for 1 month just to kind of clean things up and then get going from there. But after that, maybe move down to the free tier. The free tier seems just fine. I don't know that it's that much better or worse than any of the other free competitors that are out there, except that it's not as cluttered as Mint is with ads. So that is kind of a nice thing because again, this whole application really is an ad for things that Rocket can do for you. And then you won't have anybody calling you for a consultation the way that you do with Empower. So, if you're someone that's kind of, I don't know, anxious about telling someone no thank you, which I don't think is really a big deal, then, that might be a plus over here. So that's my take on it. Perfectly fine product for the free edition. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.